I hope you're able to hear me now. My microphone was muted. So, like I was saying, um, I've been out and away for a while now. I did not leave like any reason as to why I have been out of the internet for a while, but I'm back. Some stuff are within my control, some of them were not within my control. Hi, and nice to see you here. Really appreciate your presence here so much. And I hope you understand English. That's the only language I speak well. Hey, Manuela, girl, come let's have a chat. Please come let's have a chat. Um, Today I'm just like, it's been a while. Like it's been a while out of the internet. Out of the internet. I've been in the internet for a while now, and I've got some time now to be here. So I thought, as long as the kids are quiet, we can do this, or we can still manage. Like I've missed being live or just being here, like having the lives or having a chat or yeah. But oh, okay. How are you to pack? I hope you are doing okay. Three people watching. Thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate all of you. So, like I said, it's been a while. If you want to join the stream, let me know, and I'll share the what is it called the the link for joining the stream. But today it's just an open one. I didn't want to come with like any topic or any like whatever we need to talk about. Okay. Okay. No worries. No worries at all, Manuela. I really still appreciate you being here. So today I just came like no topic, no nothing, but I just came like, let's reconnect. You can get to ask me anything you want to ask me. I thought that's the best way to have this first live conversation with you guys before I come back with more topics. And this time, like, I don't know, I've been thinking and I just want to put some thoughts into action. So, yeah. But yeah, the upcoming lives will be interesting. Yeah, they'll be really interesting. I want to contact some people and see if we can come up with some conversations which really do matter, especially to a place where I am right now. So, yeah, but school has been going on so well. I went for internship, which was so amazing. I also loved the experience I got from the place. What else have I been doing? I've also been still in school. I've been mumming and wifing. And I think what I meant to say is sometimes having a balance between all of that becomes really so hard. Thank you so much, Tupac. Having a balance between all of that becomes really hard sometimes. And yeah, so hence why I was away. So if you have any questions or where I have been, before I get too much into myself, just you can feel free to ask. But yeah, I'm back. I'm back. And that feels amazing to be back. So how have you guys been? Manuela, how are you? How is your Saturday going? I would love to know how. And to Tapak, how is your Saturday going? Let me know. And I actually wanted to ask you guys. My name is Taras. Aha, okay, nice to meet you, Taras. Nice to meet you and welcome in this platform. Which country are you watching from? Oh, that's amazing, Manuela. That's amazing. Mine too has been amazing. So amazing. We had like late breakfast slash brunch. And then after breakfast, what did you do? We've just been hanging around with the kids. And then my husband went cycling. And then when he comes back, we probably will go out. Aha, okay, okay. Oh, okay, I'll check you out on Instagram. But then Instagram, there's always, I have a lot of DMs I've not answered or anything. Just give me a shout out there on my DM, and then I'll be sure to check you out, Taras. Um, yeah, but that's nice. If you have any question for me, shoot it away. Shoot it away. Shoot it away, baby. Anyway, um, now I remember. Okay. Now I remember. Now I remember. Now I remember you. Okay. Oh, I hope she's doing okay though. And nice to meet you here again. That's a very dear fan from, amazing fan from Instagram. And yeah, really nice to meet you. What do you want to know about my culture? If there's anything you want to know, we love fish, that's for sure. If you'd love to know about our culture, we love fish. We eat ugali. That's our staple food. And the Luas are amazing people. And so are all Kenyan tribes generally. But we come from the fish side. That's the only difference that is between us and any other Kenyan community. But yeah, you guys feel free to. I usually find it really weird to come here without a topic because I'm not really too much chatty. Okay, okay, okay. Um, either we discuss them here or we discuss them on my on the other side. Feel free, whichever way. If here, let me know. That would be amazing because then I can be able to give what I think. Like actually, shoot me a question on my DM and then I'll read it there. Okay. How to survive cold in Finland. Oh, that's amazing one. Finnish cold gets to -10. Um, and I must say, being the first time I was here, it was like baptism by fire. So when we first moved here, I basically was for a long time by myself because my husband was working away. And by the time winter began, okay, Manuel, I got it. By the time winter began, I had gone shopping thinking this was the first year. So I'd gone shopping thinking, you know what, I got everything I need. I don't need to worry about nothing and everything like that. And then winter started. God, that was cold. That was like so cold. But I think the best way to survive winter, I would say, is especially if you're coming from warmer countries like Kenya, the way we compare cold in Kenya and the way cold is in Finland are two different things. This is like the cold in Game of Thrones, winter has arrived. And I would just say, you have to buy warm stuff. Fashion sometimes gets out of the window, especially for me, because like, okay, this is how we dress up during. I think let me tell you how we dress up during winter. We have the warmer insulated top you wear inside, and then and the insulated trousers as well. They're very light, but they're meant to keep you warm. And then on top of that, you wear now the normal skin tight or shirt or whatever. And then after that, you put on your sweater. And then after that, after your sweater, you can put on your coat if you have a coat, or if you don't want to wear one. I do have jackets that are meant for -10 degrees weather, that have been tested on -10 degrees weather. So then you wear that one, and then you need a scarf. And then your hair is also another thing you need to take care of. I would just say staying cold will help you during winter. Yeah, staying cold and making sure you go out because otherwise you'll end up being depressed in the house. It's usually really cold and darkness comes so fast. But I think there's beauty even in winter in Finland because the way the streets are lightened, the way the whole place looks white when the lights hit the snow, it just looks it's such a nice shimmer around and clean and just amazing. So it gets beautiful. There's more beauty to the Finnish winter. I love it. I love it. I think so far I've learned to fall in love with both the weathers. Um, Yeah, winter really is cold, but it's also so beautiful to have that much snow and jump on it. Last time I managed to walk on top of on the sea, so that was also like really like, I can't believe I'm doing this. One thing I actually did not know was, once I was walking on the sea and there was a man trying to, they drill into the water, into the sea, and then to catch the fish. And then I was talking, I didn't know that actually when someone is doing that, you need to be really quiet for them to be able to get a catch, because if you talk, the fish will disappear. That was so silly of me, but now I know. So coming winter, it's going to be fun. Yeah, but you just have to learn to fall in love with both the temperatures or the weathers, as I can say. I think there's beauty. There's more beauty. I don't know. I think these days I love winter more than I do for other weathers, other seasons. I think winter is my favorite. My worst is when winter is coming to an end, when everything is now beginning to melt and stuff. Yeah, that becomes my worst. Although another thing I would say is, as much as I appreciate the weather here, I feel like the people who own in Finland, I'd say at least in every 5 homes there are 3 homes with a dog. No, in every 5 homes there are 4 homes with a dog. Does that make sense? I think I would give it a three. In every 5 homes there are 3 homes with a dog, or in every 5 homes there are 4 houses with a dog. So the population of dogs here are really a lot, and people love animals so much, which I really do admire. They look cute, they look so amazing. But then I feel like mostly the only people who make different weathers unbearable or not so likable is the people who, what is it called, who don't stand after their pets. Like, for example, when they take the dog out, for example, winter is really cold, so taking your dogs, sometimes people live away from the dog parks, and the dog parks are really like close by. At least every building has a dog park around it and next to it. So the people who, just some small amount of people. Hey, Sharon and the family, thank you so much for being here. So there's a small amount of people who just do not want to take their dogs for walking, and they will, like, you see like a dog poop somewhere and then they don't pick it up. So those are the only people who make the weather, who make the environment like not look white as it should look. But generally, it is always so beautiful, so beautiful. Finnish people drink. I think every Finnish person drinks. Someone will correct me that I have usually have a Finnish fan here. Um, I think every Finnish family drinks. Yeah, Finnish people are really drink. They drink. It just depends on how much do they drink. How much is too drunk for you, in your opinion? Because I don't see any place I've gone where, or any party I've gone where there's no alcohol, rather than, um, yeah, like, and compared to where I come from, where alcohol is like, we have tea on the tables, but here, you have coffee and beer, yeah, and potatoes and fish. Yeah. So Finnish people drink a lot. But then it depends on the magnitude. I think that's what makes the difference. But then they're not arrogant drinkers, if that makes sense. White man, where are you? Where you get African beauty? Oh, I didn't understand that one. Um, but yeah, so they drink a lot. It's really hard. Naturally, Finns are really shy people. They're not so outgoing. So even if you're dating one of them, you have to know that they're really reserved with their feelings and stuff. And I think alcohol kind of just loosens them up a little bit, so it gets easier on the talking and communication and stuff. But generally, they are really just quiet people. So I prefer, I don't know. They don't overdo it, but there are people who overdo it. Like, you'll be passing in a place around 7 a.m. in the morning, and someone is already like drunk. Like, so that's why alcohol. We have a place where we get alcohol from, and it closes really early during the week. during the weekend it closes early. Let me see, actually, as we're here. It's called Alco. Yeah, during the weekend it closes at 6 p.m. And then during the weekend it closes at 6 p.m. And let's see. On Monday, the place next to me closes at 4. Wait, that can't be right. Yeah, at 9. During the week it closes at 9, and during the weekend it closes at 6. So that's, I think, just to cap the amount of alcohol people get to buy. And also, I think because of recycling of bottles and everything, some people are able to use the money they get out of recycling to buy more alcohol. So, yeah. But mostly, many people I see drink beer. Wine is also here. I'll just say here there's a lot of alcohol. I think drinking and smoking is something that one of the things that shocked me a lot when I moved to Finland. Oh, Sharon, you're being asked about, Tupac is asking about, what is it called? I asked that Sharon man on the picture, where did you meet Sharon? Sharon, if you're still here, he's asking where you met your mans. Taras is asking where you met your mans, if you're still here. Yeah, so for me, culture shock was drinking and smoking. Smoking, because I think in Kenya we have people who smoke, but it's not a larger community of people who smoke. And even if they do, it's really hard to see like young people smoking. And mostly, even if they do, it's not a big population. Oh, okay. Sharon says they met on Afro Introductions. Taras, where did you meet your little girl? Where did you meet? So then, so even if there are, what is it called, smokers, it's a very small population. Here, I think there are many people who smoke, and basically everyone drinks, or everyone drinks. It just depends on how much they drink, in my opinion, though. But there's no that, we don't have these like loud clubs, like you can really hear like, oh, there's a club going on somewhere there. No, it's very quiet. Like Finland, the only thing that will shock you when you get here is the stillness. Like it's so quiet, like very, very quiet. Like the only thing you get to hear is just the wind and the cars, and no one hoots, like the way Kenyans, they like to do hooting and whatnot. There's no that. It's so quiet, like it's still quiet. And the air here is very refreshing, like fresh. Yeah. And then what else? The air, the quietness. Yeah, even when people drink, they never make noise. Like they just drink, they'll walk home. And I love also how drivers are so like observant when it comes to driving and stuff. I've seen like a tram stop for a drunkard man to like walk out of the road and stuff. So it's just, for me, it's that calmness and that safetyness that makes me happy about this place. Here almost everyone smokes. Wow, that's some similarities we have here. So I think it actually differs, because here I see like once we were, even with my family members, like when we were all together, we just drink, not like that drinking of getting drunk, but alcohol is just something to keep the party going. And there's nothing like this is bad or this is like, there's no, like, as long as you're of age, then you're allowed to drink. And they even have like non-alcohol beer, Finnish beer, which is also really nice. So yeah, I think drinking is something that is is their thing. It's something they love doing. Yeah, and there's actually an advert on one of their beers which I really love so much. And actually, it happens that the people who advertise those beers are people who are friends within, like, my family. One of my in-laws was telling me that those were his best friends who shot the alcohol thing, and I was like, you guys were naked. They were naked. Yeah, and talking of which, that's another thing that helps. Sauna do help you survive the winter. Like, if there's no sauna, I think I would not survive winter. So sauna is also a Finnish culture. Like, there are many saunas here, and everyone loves going to the sauna. So that is also something. I actually need to bring you guys into the sauna one of these days. Is it okay? You guys can let me know. Weeds as well. We'd have not smelt weed in this place at all, actually. No, I know the smell of weed though. I've not smelled weed at all. The place where I used to live in before, there was just one neighbor who was from a different country. And they would always, like, once in a while, not always, once in a while, smoke. I don't think it's legal. I don't know if it's legal or illegal here, but yeah. But generally, no, just normal cigarette. Like, you find someone with the powder, and they'll be rolling it in the train and stuff. And what I love is, like, no one smokes in the bus, no one smokes in the train. They'll always do it outside. Yeah, that's something I appreciate. But also, I think this weather is so cold that I think now I get to understand, like, why they smoke, because maybe it helps a little bit with the warmth or something. Um, what are the biggest differences in life Finland compared to Kenya? Wow, there's a lot. There's a lot of difference. I think the first one I'd say, the weather. When you land into the airport, it's a big difference. It's a really big difference. For me, it was, I don't know, I'd say this would look like, so, like, cliche, or like someone would say, oh, you just came to Europe, so you're making Europe look good, or something like that. But let me tell you one thing. When I landed in Finland, I remember the first thing I did was I just had a moment of stillness just to take in that air. It's so clean, like, it's so fresh. You'd be surprised. You'd be so surprised. It's like winter fresh. Actually, once you get to Finland, you just notice the weather, like the air, the cleanness of the air is something I would say makes a big difference. And when I talk about cleanness, it's the cleanness when you breathe it, and also the quietness in this place is amazing. I came from a place where I lived in a city. I lived in the capital city, Nairobi, and I lived in the most populated part of the capital city, which is Westlands. And from my bedroom, I could always hear, like, what is the music from the clubs. You'd be sleeping, and you'd be hearing "Uduf, uduf." So it's like you're in bed, but your heart is saying, you know what, you need to be out there dancing, which is something I love about us, because we're very wild and warm. Here it's very cold and lonely in a different way. It's cold and lonely. We are warm and wild. So that is something also I would say there's a big difference in that, because in my country, if it's it's Friday, actually. It starts on Wednesday. Friday, it's like bang. Like, Friday is like club mode. Like, it's like, even if you're home in bed, you just feel like, oh, I'm missing out on club. Like, it's Friday. Here, even if it's Friday, you wouldn't know it's Friday. Like, there's no difference. Every day is the same. And I think also it's because of it's a routine. You wake up, you drink your coffee, you go to work, you come back. It's something that continues like that. In Kenya, you come from work, you go, your boyfriend has a birthday party, you go there, you party. That is another point. So the air is the first one. The second one would be what is the what, how would I say? genuineness of this place, like sincerity, like the safety. I remember the first year when we came, during the end, it was towards the end of summer, and we had like some cash with my husband, and we had a lot of cash in the bag, a lot. And we needed to go and buy like some stuff, and we are going to buy them cash. And then we also had my passport, the kids' social security cards, and everything, and their passports. We basically all had all our documents in the bag, and we had laptop, phones, and stuff. And then, kids throwing tantrums. My younger one was really young, and he was crying. And in the midst of that, we forgot the bag, and we carried out of the train everything else. If you guys know, we use public transport a lot in my house. So then, when we left that, we realized after the train had gone, when we lodged a search, when we went to the lost and found, not a search, there's an office for lost and found. So we went and reported there, and we were told if they find it, they'll give us a call. And days later, like around 2-3 days later, we found everything. Nothing was taken, no money, no phone. Everything was inside the bag the way it was. So that is something I really do admire about the Finns. Like, they would not take something that does not belong to them. And this, I think I've mentioned even on my Instagram story. Sometimes I go for a run, and during summer, for example, people sit in the parks a lot. Like, there are chairs in the parks when you're walking. And sometimes someone would be walking, and then maybe they removed their phone out, and then they forgot it. And if you pick it, you can report it, or you can just leave it there, and they'll always come and find it back. So that is also something I really do. That is one of the things I really do admire of the Finns here. Another one would be another one would be the quietness. Like I said again, Kenya is like warm, wild. Finland is like lonely and cold. So, like, for example, I lived in a place for 2 years, almost 2 years. And that place, like, my neighbors, I remember the first day I came, when the first day we moved there, I was like, I'm very chatty, like on a normal day. So I was like, I needed a hammer to hammer something onto my wall. So I went to the neighbors, and I was like, "Tek, it's your new neighbor. If you have a hammer, please help me with it." And he just looked at me like, and he closed back his door. And I was like, "That's weird." Actually, it was a she. Sorry, again, I'm now becoming more. In Finland, there's no she and he. So we use han. So yeah, so she just closed the door. And in Kenya, like, I remember me and my neighbor was a Muslim, and we would be partying. I would be going for Muslim holidays, and she'll be coming for hours, and we'll have parties every time. And we're just so warm. Like, if you meet someone in Kenya, you must say hello. Like, you can't just pass them without saying hello, especially if you make eye contact. In Finland, you make eye contact, walk, mind your business. That's that's the day, like, here, like, mind your business. Well, since some areas in Finland have something like 20% foreign language immigrants, who are them? Hmm. I'm talking about people who live in Finland generally, but you also have to be a little specific with your question. Um, I have foreign language immigrants. Yeah, so them are people. Okay, now you got your answer, just 42. Uh, yeah, you got your answer. Yeah, so I think, but that is something I do admire, like the cold, and how would I describe it? Like, it's not like it's not like really like that. It's like the loneliness that gives you space to think. Like people are just not too much into your face. Like in Kenya, you meet your friends every now and then, so you're used to them. I feel like here, people, even your relatives, they don't just pop up. They have to like let you know that they are um okay. Okay. I don't know. Okay. So when I say them, I'm talking about people who live in Finland generally. Anyway, them are not as okay. I don't understand you guys. Okay. Now, what else? Like I think it's the quietness and the loneliness that kind of gives you time to be with yourself and not with people. Like if you're with people because you're invited, it was planned, and you're prepared. In my country, you got your neighbor coming in anytime and it'll be like, you know what, tech. And I feel like that is something I do miss here. Like when I used to, but the first few months I was here, I used to always, it's like in my mind, I'm waiting for that knock on the door, like a neighbor coming or someone coming to just say, you know, "I'm your new neighbor here. How are you?" or something. And then I got to realize that actually it doesn't happen like that. Like if you meet your neighbor outside, you can have a conversation, like a real conversation. It has to be like something substantial, like a conversation, not just a hi. Like yeah, like because for us we have like this hi. Like when you're walking you have to say hello to everyone, and here you just mind your business, and if you have something converse, like a substantial conversation to have with someone, then it always develops in a nice way. So yeah, that is I think the lonely part, which is not so lonely because if you mind, I think for me by the time we're coming here, I just wanted to be, I wanted to have my space, like some sort of stillness, quietness to just go back to who I am. And I felt like Finland gave me that because if I have my relatives here, obviously I have my relatives here. We always like I have to call to say I'm coming on this day. They have to call to tell me they're coming on this day. So it means I don't have any unnecessary pop-ins. And I do have like once in a while someone will tell me, oh, I'm coming, and it's not like that's something that is so random. It's something like, oh, actually I missed you, you know. So yeah, that is something I really do appreciate so much. Another difference is the way families relate with each other, in Finland than in Kenya. I feel like for us in Kenya, there's like too much respect or reservation, and between, I think I would say reservation when it comes to how fathers and mothers relate to their children. And in Finland, there's this openness, like it's very open. For example, in Kenya, I don't think you'll find a whole family sitting in the sauna together, like grandmother, probably father, and children in the sauna, like just having a nice time. It'll be like mom and dad having their own time, and then we will have our time later, something like that. So there is also something I love about Finland, that the family value is really placed like really up and high, and family comes first in Finland, I think. And I know family comes first in Finland. Like even the whole structure, the way it's structurized is, it's in a way that family comes first. So that is also something I do appreciate. Not that we don't have family coming first, but in my country, mostly you'll find a small percentage of men, for example, always going with their women to the what is it called? Let me restructure that. You'll find like the way men interact with their children here, for example, like taking them to the daycare, that happens also in Kenya. But something like taking the kids out for a walk, or like the way maternity leaves are based in my country or in Africa, basically, I want to believe that not many families, like mother and father, get the same benefit of being at home with the newborn as there is in Finland. And I think I also love in that's which is another thing I love about with the other difference is that the equality issue. I think women here and men here are equally, what is it called? Men and women are equally elevated to be in a position of leadership. Leadership is not just meant for a certain gender. Like, I love the fact that it's equality. Like, I'm able to go out and bring something, and you can also go out and bring something, and whatever we bring, we can always contribute and share. That is something I do really appreciate. It means the girl child is not looked down upon and the boy child is not looked down upon. It might happen, but I think I love the aspect of gender equality also, which is really different. And how men get to also enjoy the benefits of being at home with their children just more or less equally as mothers have the opportunity. Yeah, but I'll still say the men are shy, but they are amazing. They're family oriented people, like trustworthy, family oriented. I mean, there could be, I don't know, I wouldn't say all, but I would say there could be some who are not like family oriented, because we know things like abuse and divorce happens everywhere. But generally, I would say the way the men here are when it comes to family is different, a little bit different. Um, So just for Teacher Tube, you're being asked your name. And he says many people have content and some group specific personalities. They don't have just one behavioral code. Yeah, that's very true. That's very, very true. What do you miss from Kenya? I miss the food. I miss the warm and wild, like I said, with regards to partying and the food. And Kenya is very warm. Like, people are so warm. People are so friendly. The food is so good. And I think mostly Kenya remains my home. So it's the original place I call home. So that is something, if I were given an opportunity to choose, I would choose both. Like, I want to be home and I still want to also be able to be in a place where I'm able to be with my husband and raise my children. And I love Kenya so much. And that's why I think my husband and I stayed there for like 7, 8 years together, before deciding to move in any other country. So, yeah, I have no need to draw attention to my person. Just 42 Tube always just wants to be known as that. But Taras, pleasure to meet you here today. Yeah, so I think Kenya is the originality, the food, how warm we are. Like, you meet your neighbor, you say hello, we chat, we make fun, we drink together, we have taska, we go to parties, we have bonfires. It's just how warm we are, which I really do miss a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot. I feel like Finland is, the quietness here is, if you're Kenyan or if you're African or if you come from a very, like, what is it called, social place, this quietness is something you need once in a while. But yeah, I still miss home for that reason. Yeah. You guys bring your questions. Oh, there's no us and them. I think it's we. I wouldn't say there's us and them. I would say there's we. Yeah. If you have any other, I'm sure you're a good person. Yeah, he is a good person. He is a good person. Yeah, so those are some of the differences I know about between Kenya and Finland. Yeah. And also, I've talked about the family issue, which I feel like is really amazing. Like for me, that was something that won my heart. Like, I would never wanted to settle down in a place where my kids would have felt insecure or unsafe, or or something like that. And of course, we had options to choose from. But I felt like I wanted a place which had like a promise of safety. And yeah. And the other thing I love is the fact that the government also thinks about its people. For example, when it comes to education, parents don't need to like work extra hard to afford education for their children. Like schools are free or almost free for everyone here in Finland. So that is something I do love so much. Oh, thank you so much, Manuela. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Finnish dishes. Yeah, there's so many. Just for YouTube, you can also tell us some foods that you love. Of course, puro remains something constant that we also have in Kenya. The fish culture is something I really do appreciate because it's something that kind of helped me connect with home and still away from home, if that makes sense. In Finland, there's a lot of fish. And where I come from a river and lake Nilotic group. So fish is our like a staple food. So when I came here, I was able to see some fishes that look close to, for example, silly. Silly is close to what in my country, in my language, you call Adele. I don't know what its name is in English. And there's also, we have a lot of salmon, Nile, not Nile perch, but what is this other one? Yeah, the fish culture is amazing. We have smoked, you can buy raw and go and make it. I also love the tinned raw preserved fish, which is something I also love. A weird one was the, I don't know, it was the fish eggs. Yeah, that I had once in what is it called, in a Christmas party in my home back in Olu, and it was so weird tasting it. I was like, mm, it's not bad, it's not good, it's weird, but it tastes like something, but you can't describe it. And you can, yeah, that was so weird. That was weird. And then another one is the reindeer meat. I think I had my first reindeer meat in Christmas at the Christmas markets. Yeah. And I also love something, another different thing from Kenya, in with the difference between Kenya and Finland, I would say, is the Christmas culture. Christmas here, everything is lit. The streets, everything is beautiful. In Kenya, we also have things lit and beautiful, but the way Christmas is here is like you walk around, you see Christmas. Like in it's different. Like it's cold, it's white, it's Christmas-ish. You have the gingerbreads. It's ah, yeah, but it's a little different, and the difference I think also comes where here it's just the season itself and people enjoy it a lot, and as we connect it to going to church, which some people do go to church here, of course my family does go to church, but it's not like everyone is going to go to church. It's like the people who want to go to church are going to go to church, the people who don't want to go to church are not going to go to church. And that, yeah, that is something really nice. Aha, he's saying fish eggs are called caviar. Okay, yeah, that's one. As a child, I thought about how local Finnish population would um, benefit from some parts of African cultures and genes, but mainly I was jealous, being so pale. I think over time we have to embrace um, the diversity that comes with us as people. The fact that there can be a darker person, me here, and you, the lighter person or the citizen of the country here. Because we all come with different skills, and we've proved that when it comes to marriages that this can actually happen. For example, I'm from Kenya, my husband is from here, and me and him, we've made this perfect family between the two of us, So I feel like it's a diversity that we need to embrace. We need to look at it and not look at the skin color. We need to look at it and look at the contribution that each and everyone has, when it comes to the contribution that each and everyone has, when it comes to having a normal society. Because I feel like if you don't get to meet me, then you don't get to know what it feels like to be me. And if I don't get to meet you, I don't know what it feels like to meet you. But then in between there, we also have this group of children we raise up, the mixed children, who are also another people. So if we look at people as you are black and you are white, then we also say our children are mixed. Then it's just a big porridge we are creating, rather than looking at it like, wow, the world is so beautiful with all of us. Diversity is such a beautiful and unique thing, in my opinion. And even diversity when it comes to culture and everything, we have a lot we can always exchange and learn from each other, I think. Mixing cultures is difficult, since you can't always pick just the good parts. Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. I feel like, especially like someone like me, having had my husband lived in my country and see the good and the bad part of it, and I've also lived here and seen the good and the bad of it. It's You just have to come to a place of embracing both. Yeah. So being with someone, it's just accepting that this is who you are, this is the good that come with you, this is the bad that comes with you, and this is who I am, this is the good that comes with me, and this is the bad that comes with me. And until you get to that point where you're able to reconcile everything, there's never a balance. It's kind of like a wobbly connection. Yeah, but I think generally, my husband is back. I think generally having people mixing together, coming together into one place with a system that, of course, considers both people as humans is really nice. And yeah, I believe a world is a better place when we both get to embrace each other. Um, Tara says to be pale is a privilege. I think sometimes you have to be in a pale person's skin to feel the underprivileges they go through and the privileges they also go through. I would say, because being lighter skinned, I'll give you an example of my husband, for example. When we were in my country, there are many incidents. Everything was so good, so amazing. But then there are also incidents where some things were not so good and were not so amazing. So those are some of the things that you have to always consider. I'll give an example of I remember one occasion where we were going for a date, and we met a police. We used to live next to a place called Sankara. It's a 5 star. I don't know, is it a 5 star? It's a 5 star hotel, I think. One of the good hotels in Nairobi, and we were walking, going to to Sankara for dinner, and we were holding hands, and we met the police, just me and him, and they said, you're under arrest. And we're like, for what? For holding hands while walking at night. And I'm just like, why? And I was thinking, if it was me and another man like me, there would be no problem, but because it was me and him, there was a little bit inconvenience. We finally were able to continue with our day, but it was a delayed date as it could have been. So I think sometimes you have to put yourself in another person's shoes to understand what it feels like to be them. It's the same as me being here. He has to put himself sometimes in my shoe and feel how it feels like for me to be here. It's the same way I had to put myself in his shoes to feel how it is for him to be in my country. And I'm not saying it's all bad. It's not all rosy. It's not also bad. Yeah. But somehow there's a balance. Yeah. If you have any other, just let me know. And I'm really loving the conversation today. Yeah, but I feel diversity is still a beautiful thing. If you're open minded, you get to see the beauty in diversity compared to if you're closed minded. And one thing I appreciate about being here is the fact that I don't know. Some people say there's racism here. Have I met racists here? I think once I would say I met a situation that somehow looked as a racist situation, but generally not any other. Just once, and I've been here now for close to 2 years. So the incident was I was going to. It was Christmas time, and Christmas time I do travel to be with my family in Oulu, and we had booked a train ticket. We had the first class, and at the door I met this lady, and that time I wasn't speaking Finnish yet, and she was speaking some stuff in Finnish. And I remember, because I could not understand him, I just wanted to ignore that. She was saying something like, I did not want to believe she was telling me something in lines of, you don't belong here. So when I was coming in, I told you guys my husband was away out of the country. So when I was coming into into the place I was supposed to be sitting, she stood by the door and she was not coming out for any reason whatsoever. And I was having my son on my chest, and I was having on the baby carrier, and I was having the last two. The first two on my hand. So that is Adrian and Matthew. And she was so adamant. She was not moving. She was not doing anything. And when the train conductor came, and everyone actually stood out for us, and she was put in her own, like in her right place. Like, everyone was like, this is really wrong, you should not be doing this. Another woman came and said she was really sorry for that happening to me. I did not deserve to go through anything like that. If there's any way they can help me out, and if I wanted to call the police, they would help me out and stuff. So there was a case where I met someone who was not so nice towards me, but people were there to stand out and speak out for me. So I wouldn't say I've met any other racist um, thing here, as much as there could be. I wouldn't say there's any specific case. I would say this place I felt treated like a black person or lesser. Even if the people who look at me as that, it's not so open, so I wouldn't be able to know. And I think at the end of the day, it also depends on what you choose to see. Um, I was a small child who got baldies and burnt every summer, so that was what was really burning me and making me jealous of others having natural protection. Oh, I feel you. I feel you. Mm. But I don't know. I know, like, growing up, there's a lot of things that just happens that you just are like, why me? And it's so weird. Like, it's really weird, but you get to this place of growth where you're just like, you know what? These days it doesn't bother me. I'm sure you do that. And I remember when I was talking about colorism, for example, in my country, being a child, I never like experienced this thing of being called too dark or too this for this. And I noticed over time it became an issue that I was too pigmented, for my skin color, and so considered not so beautiful, and too dark, to I should be a Sudanese. And I'm like, even Sudanese are people. So, and considering again in my family, I think at that time I was the only girl who is really like dark, like really dark, strong dark, deep dark, than the rest of the girls in my family. So that was something that I always grew up. Oops, Isa, I'm in the. Okay. What's up? Should I remove it or what? Okay. Yeah, so that was something I grew up feeling like not being okay with, but over time I got to realize that actually there's nothing wrong with my skin, but everything wrong with the people who have always pointed it out. So these days, I mean, after growing up, then I got to realize, this is me. I got to embrace me for me, yeah. And you are also so amazing just the way you are, right? Right? Exactly. And the difference between us is what makes us special. So yeah. This is so hard to remove. Why is it so hard to remove?
I don't know.
Yeah, so those were some of the things. Okay, that was me. Kids are so amazing. Yeah, so I think over time you get to not be so concerned about how you look other than what you have to give. Yeah, Daniel knocked his hand and he wants a bandage in it. Yeah, so I think summer makes everyone darker. Like even me, I get too pigmented when summer comes, and then when winter comes, I tend to lighten up a little bit. And my husband gets to be summer like this different other ish. Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, so even he tends to get pale. What is your profession? At the moment, I'm a student, so not yet working here in Finland, but planning to start working as soon as I can. Yeah. What else? Okay, I gave up on YouTube. My introvert side was too strong for me to make any content. Oh no. Don't give up. I sometimes it gets so discouraging. I've gotten towards those moments. I think there's a video I did where just yesterday, and I was talking about how I feel tired of the whole creation part and everything. But at the same time, I feel like for me, especially being here right now, I thought I knew very well when we moved here, it was going to take me a long time to be able to go back to working life. Of course, in my country, I used to go to work, earn my money and stuff like that. So when we came here, I knew there was going to be that one point where I was not going to be able to make it. And that's why I told you, I think when I started, I talked about this some series of videos or lives I want to do or videos where I want to try and do something that's going to help me with the journey at the place I am right now. So I came here and I thought the best thing to invest my money was to buy a camera and that way get to create content and probably in the along the journey if that gets to make me something, some money or anything or any sort of income, that would be amazing. So having this camera and sometimes I'm like I create content, I edit, which I know I want to believe my content is good, getting there, not so good, but getting there, but good for what I am able to do. I'm putting in my best right now. And being able to manage everything else happening around me, but still the views and everything is so discouraging sometimes. And I've had people who come and watch and consume my content and always give me feedback, which makes me so happy and remotivates me. So I would say Rose, just concentrate on the few who are still there to consume. Even if it's two people who write your comment or three people, one day you'll have that number. But for now, I think you just have to embrace the small group that you have. And for me, that's what keeps me going. You know, for me, YouTube was, it's, it's something I'm doing to see if it's like a kind of like a something I'm doing, like trying to give my input into something else other than school and work and family, but just something that builds me. So I feel like YouTube builds my creation part and editing and stuff. It's something I'm learning and knowing and doing, and I love doing. So I don't concentrate on the numbers. Instead, I concentrate on the few people who come and talk to me, the people who like my videos, the few people who comment on my videos, and that keeps the wheel moving every day. Yeah. Just what she says, if there isn't skin, there are always other features or different dialects for people notice and use that to make the division to divide us, I think, and them. Yeah, I think that's very true. That's very, very true. People, I think generally what I would want to say or consider is that in this world, like you'll never just get to a point where you please everyone. Like everyone will just have their own perception of who you are and who you're not and stuff like that. So you just have to find something that makes your world move, something that makes you happy. um I think some choose to select I think some choose to select light, easy topics and to get more viewers. Yeah, I think it does work, but at the same time, uh, just a minute. Yeah, I think easy topics are nice to have, but then at the same time, everyone, like when you're creating a YouTube channel, you always have a niche you want to follow through. And for me, for example, it was family and hair. That those are some of the things I feel like I always want to share with people. And I feel like when it comes to hair, not everyone who follows my content, for example, just 42 or Tara's, like if you come to my content and I'm sharing about hair, of course, there's that learning part where you learn, oh, wow, this is how these kind of people take care of their hair or do their hair. There's a lot to learn also, but then still there's that missing part of it's not something that you relate to, like unless you have like someone like me in your life that you want to teach about hair, or you're interested in the hair industry, something like that. So then I found family would bring a balance because I really am not so much into fashion. Something maybe I'll consider in the future, but I don't believe in, I don't know, maybe people change, maybe I might change. But I don't see why I should buy clothes like every week and post them for YouTube to just watch. And then because I really care about where I really do care about where I get to put everything else. Like after I've used them, posted them, worn them, and then I need to buy new ones. Like where do I put the old ones? And for me, I fear clutter. Like I fear having too much stuff that I don't use. So that is why I did not choose to go into the fashion way with regards to my channel. So if you've noticed my clothing, I don't, you'll see like sometimes you see the same clothes I wore last vlog. I'm wearing it in this other vlog because I just believe in using what I have and buying when I need. So yeah, I don't I until I figure out like how what to do with the things that I have, then it does make sense to do fashion because I also love fashion. But for now, I've not figured out like where people put their clothes. I don't have too much storage room to say I'll keep them in here for a while. My handsome man. You are so funny. I have a funny person in my life. Love you. Sorry. But love you. Anyway, yeah. So until I figure out like where to put everything else, then I'll definitely venture into fashion. But I also love family. So I feel like my personality, or like not personality really, but my content, I basically everything I do is around family. So hence I thought hair and family would make sense. But then people have to naturally fall in love with your content. You can't force them. So that's why I'm saying there are few people who I put my content out and they love who we are and they support what I put out. So that is why I do family stuff and hair, because those are some of the things that I feel like I can give. But who knows? Over time, maybe I'll be posting other stuff. I'm open though. I'm open. There are topics sometimes I feel like I think the main thing with content creation is the creativity. part. And being creative can be, you can be creative around any topic. So I'm not really looking down into other things and saying this I can't and this I can't do. But yeah, for old men like me, learning about foresee hair was a fairly unexpected thing to learn. I know. And that's what I'm saying. Sometimes there's that a little bit of when I'm doing, for example, hair videos, and which is why I was thinking now that it's better to slow down on hair videos and concentrate on the vlogs that I'm able to give and other things. For example, like with the integration right now, my language training, where I'm when I'm going to school, interviews, if you're looking for jobs, and this is a journey I'm starting to experience. And so I thought, you know what, let me try and see if I can also help other people or share my journey. I'm sure you guys would love to hear me speak in Finnish one day. Yeah, I'm sure that would be something so much fun to watch and listen to and stuff like that. But yeah, so that is why I'm thinking it's not so fair to say I'm going to be doing hair videos only, because there's a lot of things that are happening in my life that I have not shared with you guys, and I feel like they might help someone so much. So I also want to get into that and just ride along the waves. Um, but if an asteroid, would the Earth and the effects? Oh, I don't really. Okay. Race division was created by man. We forget the similarities we have even towards cultures, art, and music. We all have, but always think um, better than his. Mine is better than his, and hers, and her just based on the pigment. Yeah, I think that there's a lot of similarities that join us together as different people. For example, like I said, something with fish. We eat a lot of fish, and coming here and also finding fish is something they eat a lot. That's a similarity. People here love art and music so much. So I think that's why I was saying it's better to concentrate on the diversity we bring on the table other than the pigment of the color we all have. Because when you start looking at the skin color of someone sitting next to you and judging what they say based on their skin color, then there's always something wrong in that part. But I think when you look at people for what they can bring to the table, then there's also the benefit it brings with it. Um, yeah, but I would say, yeah, yeah, let's just see each other for who we are and what we have to bring to the table and not the skin color. I think when we get there, then the world becomes a better place. Because otherwise, when you see people like my family, you say that he's a white person and she's an African, instead of saying that's an amazing couple, there's how when you see the color, it makes the whole thing looks too different. Yeah. Um, I mean, affected us all, or even the COVID united the human race, but also, in a sense, divided us too. Yeah, I understand you. Tara's Rose says she lives in Munich City. Taras has been to Munich. Okay, definitely will give you some feedback, Manuela. Don't worry. Yeah, so I feel like when it comes to um, race, we just have to look at each other as individuals. Is there something you'd say about race?
Well, race is kind of a misnomer because I think sometimes people, it's, I mean, if you want to look at understand people, you have to understand their culture.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, race is kind of a silly way to start differentiating.
Yeah. So my husband is saying you need to look at it in terms of culture, but race is a silly way to differentiate people. Um, I think it would be good to create some community for couples from different countries. That would be amazing. That would be amazing. At the moment, I'm in this place where I'm trying to, I would say I can speak the language, at least the little that I know, I can move around. I can manage and stuff like that. But I'm also trying to find my career path. And I feel like, as much as I know where I want to be, it would help a lot to know people who've been in this journey and made it through. Like what, how was the journey for them? I just want to have like yeah, the kids are Daniel is crying, Matthew is crying. Let me close this door and then I come back. Like I was saying, I think we just have to look at things that bring us together. So, like, okay, like I was saying now, I want to find, I want to find the voices of immigrants who have, is it the voices, to make their stories heard, to encourage others, people through that, and also just to show that immigrants also, when they move into different countries, for whatever reasons they come into different countries, they contribute something somehow. They find what is there, they deal with the challenges, and they still grow to become something. They make something out of whatever they find, they're able to make something out of. So that's something I really want to do, because sometimes when you're in this journey of integration, it's challenging, it's tough, um it's lonely sometimes, um and even if you have your family and stuff, there's a lot of doubt that comes with it. So I felt like, if I can find, and if you're watching this, actually hit me up if you can be interested. If I can find people who've moved to different countries, doesn't matter if you're a European, as long as you've moved to a different country, that whole transition to building something and becoming someone, then establishing yourself in that new place, that is basically the voice I'm looking for. How you as an individual has established yourself in a different other place away from home. Yeah, so that is something I'm trying to look into, because I feel like when you move to a different country, everything about your life changes. um, your personality might not change so much, but I suppose there's some aspects that comes with the change. For example, I'm a very extroverted person, but I think moving to Finland made me more of an introvert. So because I could not speak the language, I was so afraid to even try. But now I'm in this place where I'm just like, I now have something. So you feel like you've missed out on a lot. And it's like, I'm changing, but do I love the change? It's a good change though, but is it um is it normal? Is it weird? And stuff like that. And so I just wanted um to hear other people's stories, be it black or white, like whichever your place of birth or origin is from. If you've ever moved to a different country, it would really be nice to just amplify that voice and reassure people like me, or other people watching this that it's actually doable. Because I know that people who move to different places as students, and you get to this place where you have to study and you have to adjust also to the place where you're in as a person, and it becomes really hard. And so there are people who've made it, and if they can be a voice to other voices like mine, then that would be really nice. Then we grow up knowing we're backing each other. Like this, there it's who we are is because of who they were. So if that makes sense, or their voices amplify, help us to know that it's doable, it's possible, it's achievable, and stuff like that. So that is the place where I'm in right now. I know where I want to be at, of course, but then the journey is, it's amazing. It's a good stretch, it's a good change, it's a tough one at the same time. But if you get to hear stories of other people who've made it through the same journey, then it kind of gets like, I can actually do this. So that is something I'm looking forward to doing. Count me in. You've one client. Oh, thank you so much, Manuela. I can't wait. I can't wait. I'll be a great path. Go for it, girl. Thank you so much. I chose to interact more with Germans. That helped me with learning more of the language. I think that's amazing too. COVID definitely put as a distance between people, and I felt like for me, COVID really reduced the amount of time I got to interact with people, much as I interacted with family. But because sometimes you just also need to go out to events and stuff like that, and learn the language. So I felt like that kind of slowed me down a little bit. But then I started my language training immediately after things started getting better. So then I'm now in this place where you meet people, you talk to them, and also trying every day. Guys, let me tell you, I feel like I met one person, the first two people I met who created a big impact on me was a very old man who met me at the bus stop with my kids. And um I didn't know Finnish. I didn't know where I was going to. I knew where I was going to. I didn't know how to get there. And he took me there, and he was totally speaking in only Finnish. And that was kind of like, God, you need to learn this language. Like, he took me from home to where I was going to and showed me the place. And then he bid me bye bye. Of course, he was trying to speak to me in Finnish, but I could not understand anything. So I was like, I need to try. And then on top of that, we had our is it the nearby shop, Alepa, next to my home those days, also very not so young gentleman who every time I went shopping, and once I was looking for airtime. Does that make sense? I was looking for airtime, and I didn't know where to buy airtime from. And I went and spoke to him, and he understood English. And so he was like, you know what? If you need any help, you can always ask. And so since then, every time you saw me at the shop, you'll always teach me a thing or two. And I was like so happy. I felt so sad leaving where I used to live before, because I felt like I would not see him again for a long time. And yeah, but he did really motivate me when it comes to this Finnish language. Like, I'd go to buy something, and when I'm paying, he'd say risi, puro, appelsini, omena. So it was just like always I'm learning, and he would also say hi. So that was really nice. Hey, Jen Shiro, how are you doing? Thank you so much for being here. Um, do you have any difficulties in relationship with your husband caused by differences in your culture? Difficulties, I think, yes, sure, we did have some difficulties, but I think when you love each other, you can always see past the difficulties and or work through them. So, for example, for me and him, I come from Luo, and in Luo, you have to go and do something called nyombo, and nyombo is where the man who loves the girl, have to go and take the cows to the girl's home, right? And me telling my husband that, he was like, I can't buy you for cows. And I'm like, it's not the cows, it's you telling my mom, you did an amazing job. And this is a gift I'm giving you, something you can see as your daughter is with me. And my husband could not understand that for the longest time. So, of course, we got upset about it. We kept quiet to each other about it. We always brought it back over and over and over again. But at some point, he got to the understanding of it. Did he do it? No, he didn't do it. But he chose a different other way, which was also amicable to my parents. So that was really nice, because his belief and how he viewed the whole picture was totally different from how we did. But these days, he actually got to another point where he's like, you know what, actually, I think I would take the cows to your home. Yeah, but my parents gave us their blessings to be together now, where we are raising our children, of course. But we did it a different other way altogether. So yeah, it's weird for him. I understand now, because it's different cultures. Imagine telling, for example, if you're not from Africa, to take cows to my home. It's doable. Some people do it, but some people also, they still struggled with the whole aspect of taking the cows. Like, am I buying new, am I doing this, am I doing that? So for us, we chose a different way, and it worked both for our parents. My mom had a gift from him, and yeah, we did it like that. So the difficulties that comes with that. And I think there are also traditions that we practice that I would not be willing to introduce my husband to, for example, because at the same time I was never brought up doing the same tradition. So those are also some different things that, to some extent, I feel like, I think we should do this. But then again, I'm like, no, I never saw us doing that in my home. So why would I bring it here? No. So there's always differences. Like, we're not the same. We don't come from same backgrounds. And so you just have to find ways of embracing each other. Like for him, for example, now that we're here, he usually says, when you go back, I need to take the cows, although that's a chapter we had closed, but he still wants to do it. So I'm just like, when you're ready, because you don't need to rush people into learning about something. You can always let them decide for themselves when they want to do it. So with right time comes everything. Internal immigration can also be challenging, but usually less so. Most Finns have some or even difficulties experiences of that. Oh yeah, that's very true, because I also noticed in the Finnish I'm learning right now, and the Finnish my family speaks in Oulu, it's a little bit of a different dialect. So that's also something. So different regions, different cultures, different things. For example, there's a bread we eat in Oulu called, is it Rieska? Just 42 tube, let me know. Is it Rieska or which one? It's like a flat bread that we do. I sit on this. It's like a flat bread that it's different from Luis Lepa, but I think it's Rieska. Yeah, and it's not here. So those are some also differences, and it's a whole Finland. But I mean, if it's here, it's not so much. You can find that my husband has once come with a small pack of Rieska from the store, but it's not as common as like in Oulu. I barely see my family getting a Rieslipper on table in the morning. Like we always have Rieska with like some toppings on it, but never like Rieslipper. So yeah. So there also comes with many differences with that. I'm a mom too, and would meet moms from my kids' kindergarten and play dates. So that has helped too with the language. I think that's really amazing. That's so amazing. If you live in an open, I'm sure Germans could be more open and friendly. Finns also, I think when it comes to this age where you have children, it's really a beautiful age to make friends. So that has also been helpful to me as well. Much, a lot actually. So yeah, many people have contributed to my learning, and I think those are some of the people who have contributed a lot into my learning process of the language. Nyombo, I forgot my hubby said in Germany they don't do that, but we got blessings too from my parents. So that's amazing. Thank God to parents who understand, who are not like just it has to be done like this. I think for me, and again, I've always mentioned to you guys, like my family, they're like my dad. I remember the one thing he's always said and will always repeat is my home is always open. Like the fact that cows or no cows. I remember when there's a sister of mine was getting married, stepsister. In my mom's house, I'm the only girl. My stepsister was getting married, and my dad said, "These cows are always going to be here. When you treat my daughter wrong, you come back and you get your cows. Like I don't care about them." And when I when my husband and I got to this place where we wanted to now officiate our relationship, my dad said, cow or no cow, my house is always open, my home is always open. You are my son, I am your family, you are my family, and so there's nothing that's bigger or much better than that. So it's just how people get to view the traditions that really differ. Like cows are gifts, but some people attach it to many other substantial meaning or some value. It depends on what value you attach the significance of the cow in the traditional practice that really matters. So it's all different. But again, also remember, you just have to know that if your parents don't give you their blessings to be with that person because of that one tradition, then it's something worth reconsidering. Because for me, I believe in having your parents rooting for your relationship and your marriage and their grandchildren to be when they finally come and stuff like that. So yeah, um, we close this topic with my wife. Please take the cows if she wants. Take the cows if she's willing to reconsider also. I would say, but we are different, so you also don't want to risk wounding her. If there are things that if you don't get to do just because you feel like as a person you don't want to do them, it brings a wound into a relationship, and it kind of would change how you relate to each other. So I think if she wants to do it, then you should try and find a way to meet her halfway if possible. There's always a way. Like if you can find a place where you both can meet, then it's nice. And if there's no way to meet and you feel like it's something you can do, just have your brothers or a friend, if you don't have a brother, or your family member, and to go do that, because it means a lot to us as a people. It does mean a lot, and it actually grounds you in that family, um, more than you can actually imagine. It's not just the cow. It's the meaning of you taking the cow there that makes a whole difference. And also being able to just respect someone and say, you know what, I respect your culture, I respect where you come from, is really a nice thing. But also you'll have families like mine where my dad said, you know what, whenever you're ready, if you're not for now, I give you my blessings. So also those are people who also exist. So just know your ground, know the ground you're in. I can imagine your husband struggles. Well, these days it's not struggles anymore. Yeah, if you marry a Maasai man, your mom will get many, many cows. There's so many cows. So many cows, because my grandfather once told us of a Maasai wedding, a Luo man. I think my grandfather attended a traditional wedding between a Maasai. So he attended this wedding where the Maasai man took an arrow. No, not the Maasai man, the Luo man, the Luo wives, the Luo girl's family was told to take a spear and throw, and where that spear would hit the ground, from that side coming to where they were, those were their cows, and they came back with a lot of cows. But again, it's not the amount of cows that really matter, it's the respect, like the willingness to do it. Yeah. Rieska sanala tarkoitetaan hyvin erilaisia leipämyös hapatettuja. Joo, on. Mutta mä tykkään rieskaa. Mun mielestäni on, että se on tosi mukava leipä kuin kauran leipä esimerkiksi. Yeah. And then Lapin Rieska is what I eat weekly. Oh, wow, that's amazing. That's nice. That's so nice. Similar challenges exist also if one isn't religious at all and the family would like the following. Family would like to follow their religious traditions. Yeah, that's also another different. I've heard of a story where there's an Indian marrying a Finn, and the Indians were like, we have to consider everything. It was such a tough wedding, but then at the end of the day, it was done. So, again, I think it just depends on how much do you love each other, like how much do you really care about each other. Then, yeah, it creates a balance. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. But I think if you meet someone and you really want to create a bond, you'll always try and work on things that binds you together instead of separates you. So for example, if not taking the cows or not doing the traditional wedding separates you, then you actually have to look into the future, because you're looking into living with someone for your whole entire life and you don't want them to live with you thinking, you never did that. I feel like the marriage point is where everything else, the way forward, is decided. And so if one has to what is it called, reconsider a lot, then it kind of is really heartbreaking. Sometimes can be heartbreaking, and sometimes it can be a resolved difference. So I think it really matters exactly like what exactly it is that brings the separation or the division between the two of you, and if it's something that is going to affect your future or not. Yeah. For example, like my husband now, my in-laws were saying, oh, when you're going to take your cows, we are going with you. So that is something like so nice to hear, or hear them talk about. Yeah. So similar challenges exist also if one isn't religious. I think I read that one. So how much are you prepared to pretend to show love? Yeah. Is it pretending really, or just like truly showing love? I think it's how much are you prepared to show love? That's what you should say, just for it to tube. Because, okay, you have to come from a point, you have to stop coming from a point of pretending to be able to do it. Because taking cows, like, in this other in Europe it looks crazy. Like I walked cows to my wife's home. It looks crazy. To us, it looks like you actually respected my culture and came along and did what is supposed to be done. So you see the difference. So I feel like it's not I had just pretend and then take the cows. No, you have to get to that point. And that's why I'm telling you, like for us, when my husband could not still like every conversation we had, he could not place 1 + 1 is equals to 2. I decided then that, the best way is to do what? Don't do it right now. We can go ahead and do everything else and get married. And then when you decide on the cow part, then we'll do the cow part. But for now, let's do this. And my parents were like, yes, because it should not come from a point of pretense. It should come from a point of understanding. Like, I understand this is what you guys do, and I respect that this is what you guys do, I think. Yeah. But also, I think you have to be considerate to each other. Like, if you are an African woman watching this, or if your traditional practices are different, and you're watching this, you have to understand that it's you and her or him building your relationship. You understand? Um, it goes beyond culture, but culture is one of the things that makes who you become as a couple. And I know sometimes people tend to just say, you know what, it's okay, but then it's never okay. So you have to just know, is it really okay, or it's not okay to do so. No, the impression of buying a woman can be deeply troubling. Yeah, that's why my husband was like, I'm not buying you. I'm not buying you. But at the same time, um these days, now that he's thought about it, and he says it would be nice to, because for example, right now we're here in Finland, my mom only has our photos and the calls we make. Um does the car really mean that I'm bought? No, I don't think so. It's just a gift. In Europe, when you're getting married, you gift your in-law a jewelry or something. So for us, because jewelry is not part of the things that we trade, we then choose cows, because cows are like our jewelries or our gifts. It's a way of gifting someone. And if you gift someone a cow, because a cow is a significant animal in our community, then it means I appreciate you, and I'm looking forward to growing this bond between my son and your daughter, together in a nice way. So it's not just the gifts. And I think that's the simplest way I can describe it. um if your family is getting married to my family, then there's always the exchange of gifts. And for us, because traditionally we don't have like this what is jewelries, we have traditional jewelries, but we don't exchange traditional jewelries. Instead, we give someone chicken. If you have a neighbor and you really love your neighbor, you'll give your neighbor the chicken. And when the chickens have children, the neighbor will always give you their child, the child of the chicks of the chicken. You understand? So it's just how we trade gifts. It's like, I appreciate you. So it's not just the cow, it's generally how we do things. If you have a best friend, you'll give them an animal like a goat. And then if the goat gives birth, or one day when you don't have goats, then she'll gift you back a child of the goat or something like that. So it's just how we appreciate relationships. It's significant that when you gift an animal, then it's kind of like it's a life invested in that relationship. That's how we look at it. I think that's what I would say. It's better to replace cows with goats. They are much cheaper. No, but you said the advantage that comes with this is that you can decide between you and your wife how much you can afford and how much you're able to give. Like, I think your wife should also be understanding. So it depends on your pocket. Like, if you're able to buy 100 cows, then go for 100 cows. If you're not able to, we have dowry negotiation that happens, and it's not to. Some families do put a tag, if I could say, on their daughters. When you go for dowry negotiation, like let's say, you bring one 10 cows or 3 cows or how many cows, but you can always say, and that's what I love, it's a place where the first meeting you go and meet the family and you talk about the dowry, and then the second meeting you go to pay the dowry, and between the two meetings there's a space in between for you to find the cows or to be able to save up to buy the cows. And you're always also allowed to say if you're able to give or not able to give, and if you can afford or not able to afford. So if you can't afford, you can give one. It depends on how you agree, but it doesn't reduce any of your value because you gave one cow, or it's just respect. Yeah. Don't forget, parents have to give that cows to the get wife for a son. Yeah, but these days I think things have changed that the man can work, save, buy the cows for the wife's family, or buy the cows for the mother and then the mother gives it to the son. Buys the cows to the mother and then the mother and your brother sends them to, and you send them to your wife's place. But also I cannot speak for all Luo communities because we also have different traditional practices, so that's also something we have to consider. In pre-industrial Finland, a cow is mostly typically given as a dowry. Dowries were considered to be a pre-inheritance, in which case the right of inheritance of female heirs has become covered by dowries. Okay, okay. Wow, that's also nice to know. See, that's a cultural similarity. Something we both do. I cannot afford even a visa for my wife now. Then you have to talk to your wife, because I believe for me it's the love that you have for each other. You know, you're working hard. It's very expensive to afford a visa for your wife and to bring her here. And of course, I know traditionally we believe in family, so you should be able to be open and tell them. I think actually, let me put the lights on. I want to talk to you, Taras. Yeah, I think that's better. I want to say, like for example, oh, I'm getting, I think, a little bit. Okay, I think there is okay. I think, for example, when it comes to relationships and marriage, sometimes men don't communicate what they're able to do or what they're not able to do, and that really creates a difficult situation for the man than the woman. You understand? And especially when it comes to interracial relationship, you've not lived with your wife. She's not able to know what you're able to do and what you're not able to do. And so if you don't, can you guys hear me? Just for chichu chibkuletko. Minua. Koska sanoita han e kule. Are you guys able to hear me? Okay. So like I was saying, you need to, I think these days I really read in between the lines so much, because I also want to be a conscious parent. Again, I'm a mom and I'm raising men, and I don't know where they'll ever get to marry from, for example. And I'm thinking men are generally wanted to be really strong, provisional, like be able to provide. And I know those are good qualities that comes with being a man, and it makes you feel good because there's that the man ego. But at the same time, you also have a partner who's now your wife, and you need to tell your partner, this is what I'm able to do, and this is what I'm not able to do. For example, you can have someone who tells you, before we get married, I want a home. And you're not able to buy a home, but you're able to rent a home and be able to afford the rent. You understand? or you're not able to afford the rent and you need to both come together and decide, this is where we want to rent a house, and you'll be going to work and I'll be going to work, and we bring the money together and we have a relationship. That's what I'm saying. It's what really matters is the bond between the two of you. So you need to be able to tell your wife that this I'm not able to do. Bringing someone to Europe is not cheap. It costs a lot of money. And I think women, sometimes you have also to be really understanding, because you're looking into having a home for her when she comes there, ready for her to move into. Like, you can't just lodge her from one hotel to another, to another, to another. You have to rent a house. If you're single, you can cause share houses. I've seen many people do so. You have a big home and you have different people sharing different rooms. It does happen, but you need to be able to rent a place for now, you and her, and you need to tell her, this is what I'm able to do, this is what I'm not able to do. And then that way she's able to understand you better and know you better, than when you just say, oh yeah, we'll try, and very well you have to work so hard to be there. Like, it can be really weighing on you. And I believe you're an amazing man who'll make an amazing husband. So if only you can get to talk about this one place left, which is the dowry stuff, then it'll be easier. And I think families are also understanding. Like, at the end of the day, I don't think there's a family who denied their daughter from being happy with the man they love just because of a cow, as much as it's a tradition. You can have families like my dad who say, whenever you're ready, or when you get, we have people even within our own communities who've gotten married and the dowries have always been paid later. It's not just something you must do. It's nice if it's done beforehand, because then it's like the list is all checked, but at the same time you can always grow, and who knows, in future maybe you come rich and you're able to buy 2 cows or 3 cows, depending on what your definition of rich wealthy is. So yeah, I think you need just to talk to you need just to talk to your wife and make her understand, and then she'll be able to talk to her family and let them understand. So when you talk to their family, you're able to understand, but they'll be able to understand because they've had it from their own daughter as well. Then it makes more sense. Yeah, I think it's nice to be open, to tell someone this is what I have and this is what I don't have. And I think that's why I always also advise, like, women, you need to ask your partner, how much debt do you have? How much cash, like how much debt do you have, and how much do you have in your own account, like your own money, and what are you able to do and what are you not able to do. So when you get into a relationship, you really know, like, what's possible within your relationship and what's not possible within your relationship. Yeah. Marriage has historically been seen also as a financial transaction or arrangement. In modern times, this has largely been seen as be seen harmful in Finland. Yeah, I think in even my husband was doing a case study in where was my husband working last? God, wait a minute. My husband was doing a case study in I know the place. It's just gone. Can I ask a minute? So when my husband was working in South Sudan, he did mention about families who would say, I married, I paid dowry, and so that kind of gives me a significant possession of the wife of the woman. Is that still there? Right? Right?
Yeah.
Is that right? What I'm saying?
Yes. Yeah.
We're talking about basically how dowry and stuff makes some families believe they now own, and so it's difficult for the woman to leave the place.
Well, yeah, you can't get divorced. I was dealing with a.
Isa, you literally.
I was dealing with a.
Isa, can you come closer?
I got in the middle of a case.
Isa, please come closer.
Yeah.
That's my husband for you. No, I can't see you and I can't hear you. It's like your sound is vibrating just somewhere here. Okay, you can say now. Seriously? Okay, Finnish men are also shy. Okay, say now. You're saying?
Yes, I got involved in a case because in South Sudan.
I hope you guys can hear.
The husband can you can arrest your wife arrested by the police if you want.
Mm-hmm. Because you paid dowry.
Issues. Well, no, not because you paid dowry. She was basically didn't want to be in the marriage anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And there they often have many wives. So he wanted her salary also. So there was that issue also because she was basically trying to break away. But then she couldn't divorce because then she'd have to return the cows.
And she was not able to return the cows.
Well, not at that stage anyway.
Okay.
So the thing was just so she lived away from him, but he would still harass her because she was still technically his wife. But
because of the cows.
Because of the miserable cows.
Because she was not able to pay the cows back.
Yeah, I mean it becomes a big.
And he'll always harass her because of the cows.
Yeah. Well, no, because of the salary. I mean, he had her basically.
No, but the reason why he was still acting like he is in his life as much as they were not living together is because he had paid the cows that the family were not able to return back.
I mean, they're married, so.
Okay. Yeah, so there you have it. So I think in many places also, like some families believe that once they've given the cows, they have to be returned back. Some cases they don't have to be returned back. Some cases you have to return them back. And like in this case, my husband is saying that they had basically separated, not living together, but the husband will still come and harass the lady. This is in South Sudan because of the fact that he paid dowry to the wife, the parents, and the wife is not able to pay it back. So he still feels like he still has the ownership of the woman as his wife, which I think that's why dowry is good and not good at the same time. That's why I'm saying you both have to agree on why exactly is he paying the dowry. Is it something that he's giving like to own you, that it's how do I put it properly, like is he giving it because he's gifting, are you gifting it because you're gifting the family, or you're giving it because you're replacing the woman, like you're buying the woman? If you're buying something and it's not good, you have to return it back to the shop. And I think that's how some people treat relationships and marriages, and some are just like, this is just a significant gift that you're gifting to the other family. Oh, this has been so amazing than I thought actually before I started this. A Finnish old word for marriage is naima kaupa. Isa, have you heard that? Naima is kaupa.
No.
It's like a woman's shop. Like a place where you buy your wife. Oh wow, that's so crazy to think about. Naima is kaupa. Like a marriage shop. Naimisin is marriage.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Naimis Kaupa is marriage shop. Yeah. Weird name. Give the cows back. Yeah, you can always give the cows back.
But the parents don't want.
But again, also
the woman is trapped between the parents and the husband.
The parents might not. If you have parents who if you have parents who are like,
A bit of a mess.
they think of this as, because again, cows also, remember, is a quantity of wealth in our communities. So if you have,
Gives, like,
it
it creates wealth
it
too.
creates wealth, and it's also considered as a measure of wealth. So if a family is thinking of this like the amount of wealth they have accumulated and they're not willing to trade off, then that's a different situation, a hard one actually to deal with.
And it's the problem too is the cows like circulate. They're like cash.
Can you come and lay down here with
So
me?
if they have a, like, say if they had a son that they had to get married off.
Isa, can you come and
You
lay
can't
here
marry
with
without
me?
those miserable cows, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the parents might get the cows, then marry the son off. So the cows are gone.
We'll come and
Unless
sit
there's,
on you
you
because
know,
you
It
don't
just depends like where the cows are at any given time. But the point is, it makes it difficult. But even if the parents have the cows, they don't want to give them up,
yeah.
regardless of who has to get married next.
Yeah. And also some families, the reason why some families are not able to give the cows back is because the sons of that family will use the cows that the daughters were married with or on. Which one is the right English? The cows that were used to the cows that were brought by their son-in-law to use to help their sons pay dowry to their other women's daughters to come into their families. A transfer of wealth, basically. So when it's transferred like that, you see that is something they don't have and they're not able to pay for. So yeah.
And it also leads to, there's a lot of cattle hustling.
Dowry is the payment of is the payment in Naimakaupa.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's really, I think you have to just, when you want to marry, you just have to speak to each other and understand that the reason why we're doing it is because of 1, 2, and 3. And the reason why I'm not willing to go through with it is because of 1 and 2. Go with this son. Go. Yeah, so it all makes a difference. Isa, close the door back. Yeah, it all makes a difference. If you speak to your wife, she gets to know. If you don't speak to her, she doesn't get to know you're able to afford it or not. And yeah, so it's important that you get to have the conversation beforehand. And I think it also helps to just have the relationship started in the right manner, in the right place, I think. Yeah. What else can we talk about? Yeah, so I think that's a difference. But I think cultures makes us really unique and beautiful and different, and we should just be able to embrace like all the cultures with what they have and what they bring into the table. But also, if you have moved from a different other country, I would also want to just get to learn from you guys, like exchange of lessons or experiences from one person to another. That would be really amazing. Yeah. There's a situation where marriage is useful, but it's in no way mandatory in Finland. Yeah, I think even with us, we've gotten to a place where now we embrace people just living together and not really officiating their marriage, although it does become a challenge when cases of death comes into play, because then it's not decided like where is the person going to be rested to lay in peace, because the family will say, okay, well, you never married her, so we can always, let's have our daughter back. Or the man side will say, she was with us for a long time, we want to bury her in our own property, in our land, as our family member. And the other family will say, no, it was never officiated, you don't have to be, our daughter doesn't have to be there. But yeah, it's not mandatory though. So I think that is something I also appreciate about everything. It makes it easy when things don't work out to be able to walk away. saves you from messy divorces if you have to go through any and stuff like that. But at the same time, I believe marriage is a beautiful thing because then it confirms the union between the two of you, and everything else is sorted, like agreed and stuff. Yeah. Mm. Oh, I love mushroom. I love mushrooms so much. I don't know, over time, let me give you a back history with my eating. Um, being young, I was so allergic to a lot of things. And then, oh, bye, Manuela. I hope you didn't mean buying like for buying, but buy, or maybe I'm missing out. Let me know. Um, when I was growing up, I never used to eat meat. And then I started eating meat later in my life. And I think because majority of my life I was a vegan, like vegan, not because I knew why, but I was allergic to many things. So then when I stopped being I stopped eating like vegetables only, then I started loving meat and stuff. But over time, again, I'm losing the touch of the love for meaty stuff. I really appreciate like more vegetables. And that's why even in my stories, you see salads and less meat. My family, of course, do eat like a different meal from what I do love. And I don't feel tired of cooking my own vegetables and stuff. So yeah. I love mushrooms. I even have dried mushrooms. I have fresh mushrooms. I have dried mushrooms because I add them in basically my meaty dishes for my kids, and my husband also loves mushrooms so much. We do love mushrooms. And last summer I got to pick mushrooms. And this summer I have not gone to pick any mushrooms, but I still have mushrooms. Yeah. But these sons of pharaohs really doesn't have manners. How can you be having sex with someone's daughter? She bores you kids and still you think it's dumb, it's okay, dumb to get furious just typing this. I know. There's not much mushrooms in Kenya. There is mushrooms in Kenya. Actually, in places where there are farms, you pick mushrooms, but they're different from the mushrooms you find here. Yeah, so you guys in Finland here, there's a lot of much different varieties of mushrooms than we do have, but we do have this big white mushroom, which is like the most expensive mushroom here in Finland. And in my country, it's like we pick it in we just pick it, like we pick it around. It's not expensive, it's not hard to find. And yeah, so we have mushrooms in Kenya, definitely. If you visit the cities, definitely check the supermarkets. If you live in the villages, pick them from the farm. They'll always be there as long as the rain is there. By law, dowry was said to be property given to children and other heirs in the ascending line when they marry or divorce their parents' home to be enjoying during the donor's lifetime. Yeah, sucks. But yeah, but to return to the giver's nest upon his or her death, the recipient of the dowry had to be the heir of the giver, but the parents were not obliged to give the dowry. Okay, continues writing. Yeah, I think it should be passed like that. But I think when it comes to these communities where there's unsettlement of where a woman, especially like the place where my husband was working before, there's a lot of domestic violence going around. And it was crazy because his staff members sometimes would get into these places where my husband would say, I'm at the police station, a colleague of mine. I was been going through domestic violence and stuff like that. And the organization is trying to see how to help her out and whatnot. And then you'll hear the man giving an excuse like they've not paid the dowry back. And you're like, it's crazy. It's too crazy. So yeah, hunting down is really nice, but in my community especially, like it's really hard to get it to be returned back. It's kind of like a family rejecting a gift they were gifted. It means this person is so upset with you and like does not want you in their life completely. So then it's returned back. Um, it does happen, but it rarely does happen. So it's all different, I would say. Yeah. Um, and the matter was entirely at their own discretion. Discretion, yeah. Yeah, I think in systems where there's order, it's easier to pass things down and return. But in places where there's no order, then it's like really hard to decide who takes and who returns back and stuff like that. Because I've seen like the way wealth runs through families, and the way it's inherited back, and then it gets to be different in places where you meet people who are jealous, not jealous really, but people who are selfish, because then they want everything, and when the wealth is in their possession they try and make bad choices, um, and that destroys the whole, resources that the family had. So yeah, those are also some of the things that actually affect families when it comes to the way wealth pass through family members and stuff. Because we've heard of a case where someone was left in charge and went and got into government deals that did not work out because of just selfish needs that he didn't even need in the first place. And then when all this did not work out, then everything was lost. So everyone has to go back and try and buy what they already had, to secure them from being taken away. So it's not, so it puts, sometimes it puts people in a difficult position. This was old legislation, not current, as far as I know. That's really amazing. 42 stops Google your old laws. Yeah. Yeah, so I think it really um, brings a lot in similarities and diversities we have within ourselves. But yeah, really a lot of it. What about, why am I not able to pin your humiliar? Wow, that I don't know. Can you, let me see. Then that's Finnish. Ah, oh, Melahia, okay. Tell us more about it. You're the Finn here. Tomorrow's gift is a gift given by a husband to his wife the morning after the wedding night. In the past, the gift of tomorrow couple could be, for example, a cow, a croft, dishes, or money, or even a jewelry. It still does happen. Nowadays, the gift of tomorrow is often a piece of jewelry. Oh, wow. Oh, okay. I thought, okay, nowadays the gift of tomorrow is often a piece of jewelry, a watch, or the like. Brides today too often want to remember their fresh husbands. I actually did not know it was called Huomelahia, you know? Oh, okay. I think these days it's just much more easier to have the jewelry as a gift or something like that. I think mine, I had a jewelry. I had a piece of jewelry as a gift. However, the purpose of tomorrow's gift in history was to secure a wife's livelihood after a possible widow's income. Oh, the giving of tomorrow's gift was even regulated by law. Wow. Okay. At least like prepare the, we're learning, prepare the wife to, in case of anything comes, then you're able to sell, use, trade, or something. That's really amazing. That's so amazing. Taras, I hope you are able to speak to your loved one, your heart's flesh of, to your to be flesh of your own flesh. In short, this sense of Pharaoh should be and must pay dowry, and that's not negotiable. You had Manuela. From Manuela's mouth to you guys, I think that's how I'm saying. Like Manuela, I think the, especially where we come from, like our parents have really worked so hard, um, and and traditionally it means a lot, but also I think it's kind to, as my mother would say, it's really kind to consider, but it's good to appreciate in a even if it's not cow, monetary value, jewelry wise, appreciate the family of the wife where you, where what is it called, where you come from. Yeah, it's a nice thing to do. I think people should be able to try and at least give something. Yeah. Yeah. In my country, when you get married, your wife come to your house and she has to bring a lot of things: cutlery, dishes, bed linen, and sheets for, and shirts for husband, handmade. Wow, handmade shirts. Okay, okay, okay. I think for us it's quite different, because when you get married to the other side, you just, your family gifts your husband's family with a gift, and then your wife comes with her clothes, and maybe if she has things that she wants to bring along, she might bring along, but generally she'll just come. Yeah. And you can only, you only make if you're able to make. So for example, traditionally, if it was my mother, imagine StreamYard just cut me off. I didn't know why. Can you guys hear me now? I don't know what's happening. I'm going to try not to type anything. It keeps cutting me off. It's like my network is low. Let me try and open this door. Because my router is in the living room. But then you get to hear my kids doing their movie night from the other side. What are you talking about? Yeah, so I was explaining to you guys how it works for us. Like the wife will just come with her own stuff, and there's no other many things needed. Um, well, in Fane's lineage left Africa before pharaohs, so we aren't sons of them. Just 42. Okay, that was me asking if you. I'm not a son of Pharaoh. Okay, let's just drop this. Okay. Yeah, so dowry, I think it's a complicated. It's complicated when it comes to dowry and dowry discussion and everything like that. But I think, like, for example, what my husband was talking about, no woman deserves to be in that position, because that was really, really torturous for that woman, like so bad. And I feel like no one just needs to be held in a place just because. And even if you pay, some men pay the dowry and they'll be like, oh, you can't do anything because I bought you or I paid your dowry. And I feel like people need to just remember the main reason for gifting. Yeah, so people just need to remember, like, I'm gifting this because I know the significance of it, and I'm not gifting it to brag about it, like, oh, I did this, so you can't do this to me, or you can't do that. It's just a gift. Like, if the woman is later on wanting to leave, she's free to go. Just the same as if someone is wanting to have a divorce, they're free to have a divorce. So it shouldn't be like a big deal. But I think at the end of the day, it's nice to gift. Yeah, so that is, I think, unless there's any other comment, today's discussion was so much fun. Maybe we can carry on tomorrow. I don't know. What do you guys think? I need to now go. I think I'll leave you guys now. I go and have a movie night with the boys. Um, and then I'll see you guys tomorrow. Would that be okay? YouTube is also, I think, a little bit hanging down. I don't know why, but yeah. So last things I would say is that if you love someone, I think you need to need to think into, why are you really paying the dowry, and what does it really mean to you. And when it comes to integration, I would really want to learn from you guys as well. If you are within Europe as a European, but in a different country where there's a different language, you have to readjust, maybe because you went as a married person or you thought life was better there. I would literally really, really want to listen as to how um, you you made it through the integration process, and how you got to, like, establish yourself in a place. And because I mean, My husband works here. I'm a student, and I feel like the journey, the journey, the path I'm walking right now, as much as she's able to lead me and show me the way and direct me and hold my hands as I find my own way, I still would love to just amplify those other voices of women who've come here and made it through. And I would also, I think there's life is a learning lesson, and at life is about lessons, and at some point we basically compare notes. So I really love to have that type of conversation at the end of it all. Yeah. And that will really be nice. That will really be so nice. That is something I've been thinking about and I really wanted to do, and I think it's the right time. And then also, if you guys can let me know, I think I'm going to reduce the amount of hair videos that I'm doing. Actually, would not be uploading any hair videos in the near coming future, but I want to know like which type of videos you'd love to watch from me that you can relate to. For example, be it family, or education, or my life right now. Just let me know, shoot some ideas with me, and I'd really be glad to do those kind of videos, because I'm looking into YouTube as something that I'm able to do for myself right now. As I study, like it's something I can say I'm creating content and putting it out there. One day, maybe this can become something, but for now, it's something that gives me joy, and I love it. But I also want to create content. I would also want to create content knowing that you guys love what I'm creating or what you're watching. So that is something I would really, really love. Even if it's a video that we both can do together, me and my husband. He's camera shy, but we can try. We can try. And I think whichever part of the country you come from, hey, it was just a nice chat, like about this dowry and everything. It was a nice chat, and just knowing the way we have differences and similarities is amazing. So don't take it really hard on yourself. And again, like I said, you have to speak to her and let her know like where you're able to reach and where you're not able to reach, so she's able to know. We did the same. Like this is what is it called? I think Manuel actually just used that phrase. That marriage is what matters, and marriage is two people coming together. The exchanges in between are decisions you two can make. It's okay not to be able to afford dowry. It's okay not to pay dowry. It's really totally okay not to pay dowry. But it's also okay to say, you know what, I understand the cultural differences, but I'm still willing to go forward and do what your culture believes is the right thing to do. Um, but it's also not okay to force yourself beyond what you're able to do to just pay dowry. I don't believe in that, because when you get to have your wife with you, you have to pay insurance, you have to start a family, you have to provide for your family. So you can't just take yourself into debt because you want to marry someone. And that's why I think initially I was telling you guys, for me personally, I had the cheapest wedding because already I had a son, and I did not have a son. I had sons, and we were paying school fees in my country by the time we were getting married. And financially, it was not something we're able to do to just have a big wedding, because we have bills to pay. Let's face the reality. We had bills to pay. So if you find yourself in the same place, like I'm just here telling you, we also did what we could within our affordability. And at the end of the day, we are still married, we're happy together. That's all that matters. Like, it's not the big wedding, it's what you agree about or agree upon that really matters. And if you're both happy with the choices that you've made, because I don't see there is the need to have a big huge wedding pay a huge big dowry and then start a family with no bank account at all, like nothing in your bank account. It doesn't make sense to me. I think family comes first, but in this case, you also have to be wise on your choices. If you're able to pay, also go ahead and pay. If you can pay thousands, you can do it. If you can pay two, you can do it. You just have to sit down and ask yourself what is doable between me and my account or my family. I think that's all that matters at the end of the day. And then your happily ever after starts. Sometimes you are not able to pay dowry, but you still lead a happy family. Not every person is able to pay dowry, and not every person wants not to pay dowry. So, and some people just cannot pay it now, but they can always bring it in future. So you have to decide. See, Manuela is saying for me, family 24/7. Yeah, it really matters. Like, you have to make choices, and these choices will definitely affect your future. So if you go into a big luxurious wedding and then you have nothing to raise your family on, then it's not easy.
I don't know. Not too bad. How are you doing? How are things?
Also, the rude shock we get when we move to new countries. Yeah, that's also another one. I think next time we should talk about culture shocks. I'll try and come live tomorrow and then we can have a chat. Today I have a pizza date starting soon with the boys. I'm the only lady present right now in their lives, aside from our mother-in-law and my mom in this house right now. Right now, I'm the only lady, so the lady of the hour needs to go and have a date, and then I'll come back tomorrow and we can talk about culture shock and stuff like that. And also, don't forget to leave me a comment down below on the type of contents you want to see from me, and watch this. Leave me a comment on what to think. No, I don't know anything about Capio. Mitä se tarkoittaa? Voitko kertoa minulle? Just trying to see if I missed any comments before I go. I'll take a picture of this.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
And yeah, that one is the one I was taking. Yeah. Okay. Senja Manilainen, okay. Okay. It's what the bride needs to get to give. Oh wow. Learning. I guess tomorrow we can also carry on the same conversation maybe, but also talk about culture shock. I think there are many culture shocks that I had when I came, and I would really want to hear from you guys. But don't forget, most importantly, if you have gone through integration in a different other country, I would love to know how you just got to something you tell yourself back when you're trying to integrate looking at the journey now, looking back, like something that you now would advise yourself when you're trying to integrate back then? It's something I would really want to know and learn about. I think it's something that would help a lot. Even to me, would really be helpful. Family comes first. It needs both to agree to disagree to make it work. Yeah, you both need to agree to disagree to make family work. And at the end of the day, everything close family must always come first. Okay, guys, I have to leave. My son is crying, and the dad is on a phone call. We'll talk tomorrow. Bye. Rewatch this video, please, and share. Thank you.